guys, and welcome to Claire's Clues. On today's video, we'll be talking about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. See, when Robert Kiyosaki was just a young boy, he had two dads, his rich dad and his poor dad. See, his rich dad left school in grade 8 and became the richest man in Hawaii, while his poor dad graduated with a PhD and still struggled financially his whole life. See, when these two men passed away, his rich dad had left behind millions of dollars for his family, while his poor dad had left behind nothing but debt and bills to be paid. See, the difference between these two men is financial education. Now, nowadays, financial education is not something we can learn in school, so we have to learn it from our families. But if our families aren't in the top 1%, then they can only teach us how to be poor and broke. Now, if we want to avoid the latter, we need to learn one thing: the difference between assets and liabilities. See, assets are things that we put a little bit of money and time into and we get a big return on, while liabilities are something that we put a lot of time, energy, effort and money into and we end up losing in the long run. See, the poor have what we call expenses or liabilities, while as the rich have assets or income. The middle class have what they call assets, but really liabilities. See, no matter how much money you make, you'll always match your income with your liabilities. So to give you a good example of what assets are, and good ones that will work, things like business, stocks, bonds, and real estate, these are all things that can make you money with a little bit of time and energy and a big return. So if you do this long enough and you invest in the right assets, you might not ever have to work another 9-to-5 job. How good does that sound? See, it's not how much you make, but instead how much you keep. Let me give you an example. I have a friend, a really good friend, and she wanted more than anything in the world to be a neurosurgeon. She gave up all her time to do the research and found out it would take her over 10 years to get to where she wanted to be. She's a very compassionate person and she would give up all her time and energy just to help others. But at the same time, she still needed to help herself and her family. She did a lot of research into what it would take to put this effort in and get a very small return. After she'd worked this out, she realised that maybe following this dream wasn't going to work out in the long run. She realised that tax is a really big thing. See, the government will take 50% in tax after what she made. Also, she was going to get taxed for earning, saving, spending, and even if she died. That's horrible. See, if you operate in the assets quadrant, you can make big money and pay very little in tax. So let me give you an example. Say you were to buy a BMW. If you were to put that under a company's name, you wouldn't have to pay as big of a tax as you would usually. So to really put it in perspective, buying a car without putting it under a company name, it would be a liability, because the minute you take it off the car lot, it becomes depreciated in value. But if you were to buy it and put it under a company, whether it depreciates or not, you don't have to worry about spending so much money in tax on it. Therefore, it could be an asset. See, a company doesn't have to be a building or a skyscraper or an apartment somewhere or a shop. It could be as simple as a folder with a bit of paper inside. This allows the rich to make all their expenses and at the end of the day, still pay their tax. See, tax is left to the upper and middle class, the ones that work the absolute hardest. These guys end up paying the way for people that are on the government benefits. Now, these guys have the opportunity to change their lives and find a job that they don't have to work 9-to-5 in, so long as they are to work in the assets quadrant. So guys, to summarize, we have to learn the difference between assets and liabilities. Things that will make us money and not take it away. Things that will not take our time and energy and effort. See, now we'll be making a lot more of these videos for the training series for you to help you with your personal development goals. That's all for now. Until next time, leave a comment below of what you like the most, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the next video.